Welcome to Unlocking Your Truth, another podcast by Dr. Lesley Phillips.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley. My name is Dr. Lesley Phillips and I am your host this evening. And the theme of the show is everything to do with metaphysics and spirituality. So tonight's topic is a little bit different, but it's a very popular one. We're going to talk about relationships and energetic interactions in relationships. So over the last year, I've been inviting people to ask me a question for free. And I've had about 600 people so far ask me a question for free by email. And the very top of the list in terms of what the most common question is why am I here? What's my life purpose? And the next most common question has to do with relationships, and predominantly romantic relationships. And so we get lots of questions about that. And I had a lady write to me this week, and because I'm always keen for you to write in and suggest what you would like us to focus on the show. And so this lady wrote to me and she actually suggested a number of topics. And so the first one that she said was a couple of things, but it's all to do with relationships. And one topic suggestion was, does having sex with a significant other make you more attached to them in a psychic way? And the other one was to do with unconscious energetic ties and influences, either with a lover or just with family members and friends. So that's the topic that we're going to cover today. She also wanted me to cover telepathy as a subject. And in particular, is that something that happens more commonly between lovers or people who are close? And I've decided to sort of tease them apart. So next week we're going to do a show about telepathy. And this week we are going to do a show about relationships. So I'll just pause right now and give you the phone number to call in to speak to me live on air. And of course, if the lady who suggested the topic wants to phone in, you're really welcome to. So the number is 604-504-7441, extension 4142. So once again, that's 604-504-7441, extension 4142. And of course, if you're shy, as always, you can email instead. And the email address is info@drlesleyphillips.com. So I guess I'll get started and put my 10 cents worth in on this subject of energy interactions in relationships. And of course, everything is energy and everyone is energy. So you are energy and I am energy and everyone that you know is energy. And we exist in a sea of energy and a sea of energetic interactions. So in a way, you can't really help but be interacting with another person that you're in a relationship in an energetic way. And especially if it is somebody who is a significant other. So what tends to happen is that people tend to share energy. So if, for example, a couple that is in love, having a relationship or having sex together, then it's really common for their energy fields to be intermingling and overlapping. And, you know, that's great. And but the only thing is, whenever your energy field overlaps with that of another person, what actually is happening is that you are not only experiencing your own reality, but you are also experiencing their reality as well. And so that's why when people get very close with one another, sometimes we find that ourselves feeling the emotions of our partner, feeling their emotional ups and downs, even taking on their beliefs and opinions. And actually, it may not really be our own beliefs and opinions, but it is because we are merging our energy field with this other person. And it can sometimes become hard to tell the difference between what's me and what is the other person. And so we do this dance, don't we, when we're in relationships? When we first meet somebody, you kind of want to merge with them, and you want to know everything about them. And so on an energetic level, part of that, the dance that goes on is you kind of want to know everything about them. You merge with them and you experience them directly. But then as the relationship goes on, then sometimes there's a dance in the opposite direction. There's a push and a pull, and I need to get my space back. You know, I've lost myself. I've lost my power. Who am I anymore? I don't know. And then there's this need to pull back and separate back out. Now, so that's one very general way that people interact on an energetic level, through their energy fields or their auras. Now, you may have heard me speak about the aura on the show before, and you may also have heard me speak about chakras. So for those of you who don't know what they are, the aura is simply just the energy field that surrounds all people, all things. You are electromagnetic energy. There's an energy field that surrounds you, and it contains your beliefs and concepts about reality. It contains your emotions. It basically is the book of you, and it contains everything about you. The aura is built up of interpenetrating layers of energy that actually flow from the chakras. And the chakras are energy vortices that exist throughout your energy system. And each one relates to a different aspect of your reality. And two of the more relevant ones when we're doing a show on relationships, although all of them are, but let's focus on a couple here. There's one that's located 2 finger widths below your navel. It's called your sacral chakra or your second chakra, or simply your emotional center. So that energy center contains your information on your emotions and also sexuality, and also an intuitive ability called clairsentience, which means clear feeling. So when you're engaged in an emotional relationship or interaction with somebody, or a sexual one, it's really common for energy to get shared in that energy center. And, you know, I've been talking about the aura and merging of the aura, but there's also another thing that happens. So for all you scientists out there, if you imagine that people's energy fields, it's almost like being an amoeba, and people can send projections of energy out, feelers of energy out from their space and connect to other people. And so in the metaphysical realm, we call them energy cords. And so sometimes when somebody is sexually attracted to another person, they will send out an energy cord from their second chakra to the second chakra of the person that they are attracted to. And it's actually an attempt to control that other person. It's an attempt to get that other person to respond to their sexual advances. So it's not always a beneficial thing, really. And those types of second chakra energy cords can also occur between people who are just emotionally interacting. If one person is wanting to emotionally overpower another. So that's one level on which people in relationships interact sort of psychically and energetically. And of course, another level is the level of the heart. And you also have an energy center or chakra that is located near your heart. And it's sometimes called, no surprises here, your heart chakra. It's also called your fourth chakra. And of course, when you have a strong affinity for another person, then your heart opens up to them, and sometimes you connect with one another on a heart-to-heart level. And usually, if the energy cords connecting people on that level can be loving and well-meaning, it's actually one of the more safer places that people can interact energetically. And, I guess it's kind of interesting to discuss these two different energy centers. One which is to do with affinity and love and connectedness, and the other which is to do with sexuality and the emotions, because I find it's actually quite common for people to get confused between those two things, and for the energy of those two energy centers to get muddled up. And so oftentimes, and it's no surprise, is it really, given how bombarded we are in our world from the movies and advertisements and magazines and the internet, we're spoon-fed this idea that love is sex and sex is love. And so people are often quite confused, and their energetic interactions are quite confused, when in actual fact those two things are very different, and they're energetically very different. And so love, affinity, interconnectedness, oneness, that is actually quite different to an emotional or sexual interaction. So the second chakra is more to do with reproduction and survival of the species. Whereas the fourth chakra is more to do with a sense of interconnectedness and belonging and where you fit in within the great all that is. So once again, I'll just mention the phone number. If you're interested in talking about this subject, in talking about energy interactions in relationships, phone me up, 604-504-7441, extension 4142. Now, this lady that suggested this subject for today, she also talked a little bit more specifically about her own situation. And one of the things that she said was there's been a lunar eclipse this weekend, and she was feeling the influence of that lunar eclipse. And she felt it was pushing her to deal with relationships, and that she started to realize that she'd been unconsciously carrying the pain for her relatives. And she wanted to know how she can return that energy to them. And what will happen if she does that? Will they feel it? Will it upset them? And so on. So, of course, as I've been saying, it's very common to, for those that we're in a relationship with, to take on their energy. And it's especially quite common to take on their pain. Many people out there, we're people pleasers. We want to heal other people. We want to help them. And we mistakenly absorb their pain into our energy field in an attempt to heal the other person. The trouble is, it doesn't work at all, because the only energy that's really meant to be in your space is your own energy, and vice versa. And the only thing that really will heal that other person is if they decide that they want to change. So, but that is a thing that we do. We absorb each other's realities and we absorb each other's pain. So, what can you do about it? Well, and just to answer this lady's question, how can I return the energy and will they feel it? Well, yes, they will feel it. If you return their energy to them, and if you break the ties with them, they will feel it. They will notice an energetic difference. They might not consciously know what it is, but they will notice it. And will it upset them? It might do. But if it does, that's not your responsibility. And so, and then is it a loving thing to carry somebody's pain? No, it's not. It's kind of saying, well, you poor thing, you're in pain. You can't cope with it yourself. Let me deal with it for you. So it's actually the opposite of a loving thing, because it's presupposing that other person is not capable of healing themselves, and that's not true. Every human being is completely capable of healing themselves. So, and then, how can I return the energy to them? Well, there are lots of techniques, lots of different meditation techniques, and there's a very famous Hawaiian one, which you could look up on the internet. I think it's called Ho'oponopono or something like that, and that has to do with breaking those energetic cords. Now, there's one that I really like to use, and I'll share that with you now before we go to break. And what I do is I imagine, or I sort of create energetically a big net. And I pull that net through my energetic field, through my aura. And the net that I've created is, I imagine or believe, is going to specifically pull out of my space the energy of the particular person that I am wanting to make energetic separations from. So I'll take that great big net, pull it through my space, let it gather up all of their energy, and then I take the net over to them and just empty it back in their space. And if I think some of my energies got into their space, then I'll create another net that I will pull through their field and bring it back to myself. And so, that's just one technique that you can use. It's a very simple one and a very fun one. And there actually are plenty of others. And of course, if you listen to this show regularly, you know that I am always talking about grounding and having a grounding cord. Having a grounding cord can help you make separations from another person and can help you release and let go of their energy and can help you change the energetic dynamic between you and another person. And all you need to do with that one is simply release their energy down your grounding cord. And for those who are tuning in for the first time, a grounding cord is an energy flow that you visualize flowing from near the base of your spine all the way to the center of the earth. And it really helps bring you into conscious awareness. It helps to wake you up. It helps you to be in the present moment. But it also gives you a conduit for releasing energy. So you can use it for exactly this purpose, making separations from another person. And, getting your energy back. We were saying that whenever someone else's energy is in your space, then you will be experiencing their reality as well as your own, and you might be a bit confused. You might make decisions that, you wouldn't ordinarily make, or you might be incapable of making decisions because it's too confusing. You don't know what you want. So ground out the foreign energy. That's a really great energetic tip. And I'll just finish off by saying, we were talking about energy cords. And now, obviously, it takes some degree of intuitive awareness to notice that you have an energy cord in your space from another person. But, and so if you're not able to know, then, of course, you can make an appointment and visit somebody who is an expert in that. But if you are aware of it, then actually all you simply need to do is remove it. Simply pull it out like you're unplugging, a plug from the wall or a connector from your computer, like pulling out a USB cable from your computer. That's literally all you need to do once you know that it's there and you've decided that you want to clear it out. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Lesley. I have a wonderful relationship question from Sophie, and she's emailed that in to us. And Sophie wants to know, or she says, I've broken up with my boyfriend recently. Sorry to hear that, Sophie. But I would like to know if we are meant to be together or not.
Well, thank you, Corey. We'll take a look at that for Sophie. All right, so if you're tuning in for the first time, let me just explain a little bit of how this works. So the way that I do this is I actually consciously adjust the configuration of my energy system to go into a very light trance. So I'm not using any intermediate things here to give me this information. I'm doing it directly. I'm directly connecting as spirit, and I will do that now with Sophie. It just takes me a moment because I alter my energy system, and I also just make an adjustment so that I can tune into Sophie and give her the best reading possible of this situation. So she's broken up with her boyfriend, and she wants to know, are they meant to be together? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a look at Sophie and her boyfriend and the energy and the energetic interaction between the two of them, just like we've been talking about. Okay, so let's take a look. So here's what I'm seeing, Sophie, is I am actually seeing that the two of you are moving apart. I'm seeing that this chap is focusing, actually his energy is focusing away from you and away from the relationship. So that's not where his head is at right now. So I'm definitely, seeing the separation between the two of you, and I'm seeing that the separation between the two of you on an energetic level as well. In that he's not. I don't see his energy reaching towards you actually in any way at all. And then if I look at your energy, what I'm seeing you doing is. It's sort of like daydreaming, dreaming about all the good times that you had together, dreaming about the way that it was, and, and kind of wanting to rekindle some of that past love and connection that you felt. And so, and here's the thing, it's kind of interesting because as spirit, of course, you and your boyfriend, your ex-boyfriend, are connected and do love each other. And oftentimes, I see this question quite often, and people will be like, well, how can I feel such love and yet this not be meant to be? And the truth is, we're dealing with the difference between body and spirit. In spirit, we are love and we are all connected, and as we've talked about before on the show, we incarnate in soul groups. And so there, the people that end up being close to you in your life are usually people in your soul group where there is a really strong affinity connection. But that doesn't always translate into a long-term loving and supportive relationship in physical reality. So these people can come in and be with you for a time, and then the circumstances shift and they go off on another adventure, and so do you. And I'm seeing that that's really what's happened between you and this chap. And I'm also seeing that, you can absolutely create a new, loving, supportive relationship and bring that into your life if that is what you want. I'm seeing that it would be helpful to let go of the who and focus more on the what that you want. Because while you focus on this person, then you're not giving the universe a lot of leeway to bring you someone else that is a match to you. So there you have it, Sophie. I hope that has helped you. So I always just tell it like I see it, and that's really what I saw about the two of you. So once again, you are listening to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley on CIVL on 101.7 FM, broadcasting live from the University of the Fraser Valley, across the Fraser Valley, and we're taking your calls. So get your dialing finger out, 604-504-7441, extension 4142. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Lesley.
Hi.
I have another question for you, and this question is from Kay Lee. And Kay Lee is asking, is my current partner the person I meant to spend the rest of my life with?
Thank you. Similar question to the last one in a way. And it's very common. I commonly get asked, is this the person that I'm meant to be with? And, that old adage of there's not just one fish in the ocean for each person, but there's a whole shoal of fish. There's plenty of fish. So, but anyway, let's look at this question for Kaylee. And I'll do the same thing. I go into my trance and I take a look at Kaylee's energy, and I'll take a look at her current partner and do an energetic read. Now, before I do that, I'll just mention sort of atypically for what you might expect for somebody who is an intuitive, one thing I will not do is I will not predict the future. And the reason I won't do that for you is, number one, it doesn't exist. All that exists is the present moment, and the future is just a field of probabilities and possibilities, and which future time scenarios get selected depend on you. They depend on the choices that you make in each and every moment of your life, and they depend on what you're believing and all of that. So in predicting your future, in a way, I am focusing your attention on just one possibility, and it might be the most likely based on the current circumstances, but you can change it at any point in time. So I prefer not to do that because I believe it disempowers you. I'd rather talk to somebody about what they want to create and help them remove blocks to creating and getting what they want. Anyway, having laid the foundation for how I'm going to answer Kaylee's question, let me tune in to her energy. Okay, so Kaylee, is your current partner the one that you are meant to spend the rest of your life with? And I think what I'll address first of all is where this question is coming from. Because one of the things that I'm seeing, Kaylee, is that you kind of are requiring external validation as a kind of a crutch, as a kind of a way of saying, well, if so long as I'm in a relationship and somebody else loves me, I'm okay. And so there's an element of that. It's sort of like, well, if I can know the answer to this question is yes, then I can relax because I'll know that I'm okay. And, you don't need anyone else to be okay. That actually comes from inside of you. You are complete and whole as you are. And I'm seeing that you at the moment don't currently believe that you are complete and whole as you are. I'm seeing that you're dealing with some issues of feeling unworthy or not good enough, or pain around having been rejected from past time experiences. And so what I would say to you is, if you really love this person that you're with and you want it to last the rest of your life, now of course you can't control the other person, but what you can do is heal yourself so that that you're not creating any blocks to that happening. And what I would suggest that you can do is work on your self-esteem, work on letting go of feelings of needing to have another person as a partner to mean that you are worthy. And so all of those things that I just talked about, you can use that grounding technique that I also talked about earlier in the show to help you release and let go of unworthiness, of past experiences of rejection, fear of being alone, and all of that. So that it's not even an issue for you whether this will or won't be so, and so that you're not creating any beliefs that you shouldn't have what you want. So, Kaylee, I hope that that has helped you. I am going to go to a break a few minutes early, just because there's not enough time to take another question before break. But please call in with your relationship questions or any other questions. The number is 604-504-7441, extension 4142. And of course, you can email info@drlesleyphillips.com. But you know what? It's really great if you phone in, because people who phone in get a bit more time, a bit longer answer to their questions. All right. So we're going to break. I'll be back in a flash. Give us a call. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Lesley. I have a question from Dina. And Dina's asking, am I in a relationship with my soulmate in this lifetime?
Am I in a relationship with my soulmate? Great question. Thank you. That's also a really common question that I get. So we'll take a look at that for Dina. And we'll talk a little bit about soulmates as well. So a soulmate this is my definition of a soulmate. A soulmate is another body personality that comes from the same soul that you do. Another word for it might be to call it a parallel life. Okay, so it's some other person that comes from the same soul, and we have this romanticized idea instead that a soulmate is the perfect partner for you. If you meet your soulmate, everything will be wonderful. Hearts and harps and music from then on forward. And it's simply not true. In fact, some of the toughest relationships on earth are soulmate relationships. Because imagine being in a relationship with yourself and looking in the mirror every day and having everything about you reflected back at you right in your face for you to have to face up to. That's what a soulmate relationship can sometimes be like. And so that little bit of information said, I'm going to take a look at Dina, and I'll answer. I know that she's not asking the question based on the definition that I just gave, so I'll answer it from both perspectives. So the first question is, is she in a relationship with a body personality that is projected from the same soul that she is? And the answer to that is no. So she's not with a soulmate according to my definition of a soulmate. But let's just take a look at Dina and her partner. And I'm just going into my trance. And I'm going to take a look at her and her partner. Well, but one thing I will say, Dina, is that it seems like a very strong love match. And remember, folks, earlier in the show we were talking about energy connections between lovers. And when I look at Dina and her partner, I actually see a really strong heart connection. I actually see that they're connected by an energy cord between their heart chakras. So I'm seeing that there's an enormous amount of love and affinity between the two of you, and that there is a strong commitment there to be together, and there is strong loyalty and dedication in this relationship, and that there is a spiritual contract. So this person is obviously part of your soul group. This is a soul that you know very well and have incarnated with in many lifetimes. And in this lifetime, it looks like you are agreeing right now to be in a committed and loving relationship. And it looks like the intention right now on both parts is for it to remain that way. And so it looks like the two of you, on a spiritual level, have lots that you want to do together. You have lots planned, lots of things that you want to co-create. And so the simple answer to your question, with the meaning that you were putting on it, are you with your soulmate? Well, yeah, you're with a really strong connected partner, somebody who loves you and belongs to your soul group. So there you go, Dina. And I've still got time to take more questions. We've got about 15 minutes left on the show. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Lesley. It's
Hi.
Corey here.
Hi, Corey.
Guess who? Anyway, Dr. Lesley, I have an email message from Dilly. It's not. She says it's not along the lines of relationships, but she's got a pretty decent question, and she asked, "I'm trying to figure out who may be my angels. Can you tell me?"
Interesting question. Thank you. So Dilly, I think the name was. Who are Dilly's angels? Let's take a look and see what comes up. So I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to go into a trance again and take a look at Dilly and her angels. Oh, that's really interesting. And you know, the first thing I see is that you're surrounded by angels. And of course, if you're somebody that loves angels and takes an interest in angels, and you know, they respond to that. So I'm seeing that just your interest in angels and wanting to know who they are has caused them to surround you in a reverie of angelic things. I'm just seeing one in particular who is playing. It's a stereotypical angel thing, right? Sort of like showing me playing harp music to you, and so this angel is your guardian angel. And let's talk a little bit about angels. So we all have a guardian angel, which is an angel that is with us throughout our lives, and it serves, you know, to protect us and look after us and all of that. So the first thing I'm seeing is that you have a guardian angel. And your guardian angel is full of amusement, full of fun, very light and airy and amused, and is playing music. And of course, that thing about the angelic realm being full of music is true. And so it's called the music of the spheres. And you can actually start to hear that if you start to open your clairaudience. And it's the most beautiful, beautiful, unearthly music that you would ever hear. And oftentimes angels will play music to comfort you and to soothe you and to uplift you and to inspire you. So that's your guardian angel. And of course, angels don't look like the stereotypical idea that we have in the artwork that we draw. But just as spirit guides do, they will project an image that is something that we can identify with. And so your guardian angel, the sort of image that is projecting to me, Dilly, to communicate with you through, reminds me of the angels that you see on Christmas cards, really. She's wearing a sort of smock made of sort of this lovely light blue fabric, and she's got blonde curly hair and playing a golden harp. So that's your guardian angel. And I'm going to see if there are... And there's lots of other angels around you. And, of course, there are angels that are assigned specifically to you, like your guardian angel. But there is a whole hierarchy and chorus of angelic beings that serve humanity. And different angels have different roles and focuses. And any of us can call on any of them to assist us. And I'm seeing that there are at least 2 others that are hanging around you. And I'll see if I can communicate with them and figure out who they are. Let's see. Well, I'm not too sure what the name of this angel is, but the image that it's showing me is, you see in there's lots of statues of angels in, I guess, classic architecture. So this angel is showing me an image of sort of being on the rooftop of an old building, and it's actually riding, on the top of old buildings they have things like little gargoyles and things like this. So it's sort of showing me an image of itself as though it was a statue, and it's riding this, carving this gargoyle. But the idea is, it sort of reminds me of a jockey riding a horse. So the idea is energy into action, I would say. Energy into action. So this is an angel that helps to distill things that are energetic frequencies, like your desires, your wishes, things that you're dreaming about creating in your life. This angel helps people take those dreams and manifest them into real things by taking action. And so I don't know a lot about you, Dilly, apart from that you've asked this question about who are my angels, but I would say if there is some particular things in your life right now that you are wanting to create and bring to fruition and manifest into the world, that this particular angel is available to assist you with that. And I'm going to look at the third one, who was side by side with the one that I've just looked at. This is a nature angel. And Ariel, I got a name for that one. Ariel is a nature angel. And let's see why she's around you. And one of the things that she's just looks like, she's an angel that helps appreciate beauty and nature and very much being in nature helps you to be very present in the present moment. And this angel is helping you to be grounded and be present. And whereas the angel I just talked to was about action and movement, she's more about stillness and being and beauty. And so between the two of them, they're helping you create balance in that area between being active and doing and being and just being. And of course, both of those states are required for you to manifest, and especially being in present time and being in the present moment. Because if you can manage to be in the present moment, then you have all of your energy and all of your power at your fingertips from which to create from. And it seems to be that's what these true characters are helping you with. So I'm going to leave it there, Dilly. I hope that that's helped you. And we do have time for one more question. Hello?
Hello, Dr. Lesley. I have a question from Linda. And Linda asks, I'm a 64-year-old grandmother. How best can I be of service for the rest of my life? And Linda also mentions that I have a few health problems.
Thank you. All righty, I will take a look at that. So, let's have a look. Well, look, one of the first things that comes up, Linda, you said you're a grandma, and how can I be of service for the rest of my life? I'm actually seeing that being in the role of grandma is a great way for you to be of service for the rest of your life. I'm seeing that you have a lot to give those grandchildren of yours, and I'm seeing that you, in a way, being a grandparent, that's a completely different role than the parents. You know, the parents have to be the disciplinarians. And as a grandma, it just looks like you can be, you have permission to be more playful, and you also have permission to, it looks like that you introduce different ideas to your grandchildren. Open their eyes to different possibilities than they might receive from their parents or from their teachers. And I'm seeing that you have a great, and because you love them so much, and because you believe in them so much, that spending time with them and them being in your presence with all that love and all that belief is just invaluable at giving them the best start in life, because you make them feel worthy, you make them feel loved, and you help them. It's like you give them permission to believe in themselves. And it also looks like just this idea of playfulness and just imagining all the most crazy and way out there possibilities. It's sort of like you create this space of no limits and possibilities, and just help open that up for them. So I'm actually seeing, being a grandma and being with your grandchildren is it looks very fulfilling. And let's see if there's anything else. Well, the other thing I'm seeing is that bathing in that love and that fun and amusement that the grandchildren bring to you helps raise your vibration and actually helps you with your health issues. So it's a win-win situation. You get to help them, and actually by spending time with them, they actually help you as well. So thank you so much for writing your question to us, and I hope that has given you some useful information. I'm going to be wrapping up the show right now, So you've been listening to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley. We're here every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. and we broadcast live at that time from CIVL, and that's 101.7 FM. If this is the first time you've listened to the show and you've not been a regular listener, you can go onto the CIVL website, and that's just civl.ca, and you'll see under podcasts, you can scroll down to Unlocking Your Truth, and you can, if you want to, listen to some of our past shows. Every week it's been a different subject, and it's quite eye-opening and educational if you're interested in spirituality and metaphysics. So next week we're going to do a show on telepathy, so be sure not to miss that.
Thank you for joining us. You've been listening to another Unlocking Your Truth podcast by Dr. Lesley Phillips. For more information, go to our website at drlesleyphillips.com. That's drlesleyphillips.com, where you can ask questions or send her an email, and there's many free gifts on there for you as well. Come back again.